Thank you very much for joining me. I'm meteorologist Brian Shields, and thank you for being part of this channel. Let's get to several areas we're watching out there. Here we are in the Caribbean. Here's Jamaica, and then a lot of stuff out there. There is nothing imminent, nothing that is definitely headed at someone. That is some good news. I like to point out some good news this time of year. There is Kirk. Kirk is going to make a curve and stay away from land. We'll monitor, but staying away from land. This is what's left of Joyce. That could bring some heavier weather at times up toward the Azores. Back behind Kirk, that's what could become Leslie. That may track a little bit more to the west, so we'll be watching that long term. And then short term, watching this, a tropical wave right near Belize, and that is bringing in the scattered areas of rain and storms to the Cayman Islands and Jamaica, as expected, in enhancing that chance of rain through Central America. Then eventually this area is going to work its way into the Gulf of Mexico. Development is not a guarantee on this, but it's a spot we're just watching, right? Again, I want to keep things in perspective. With Helene, we knew something was going to develop. The environmental conditions were telling me something was really going to fire up, lift to the north, and become a powerful hurricane. With this, it's a wait and see. Now, look how long we'll be watching this spot. The American model, the GFS, is sometime late next week. There may be some development in the Gulf of Mexico. The Canadian model says earlier in the week, there may be something near the Gulf of Mexico. This is as we work our way into early next week, so about 5, 6, 7 days from now. The European model is saying, hey, this is not going to develop into necessarily a storm, just a lot of rain in the Gulf, kind of a broad area of low pressure in the Gulf of Mexico. The ICON model is now more aggressive, saying something could develop near the Yucatan of Mexico as soon as this weekend. So such a wide variety, but in the short term, when I see this, over the next few days, not seeing any signs of development over the next few days. So that's good. We'll just fine tune it as we go further. Water temperatures are a little bit cooler from where we were a week ago in the wake of Helene that churned up some cooler water down below the upwelling. So water temperatures are down slightly, still conducive for development, but water temperatures down some. And this is by this weekend. This is Saturday. This is the American model. Here's the Gulf of Mexico showing some sort of spin or just an area to watch in the Gulf, as I was just mentioning, but a lot of wind shear as well. Wind shear is good for us. That knocks those thunderstorm tops down so we don't get as much development, at least quickly. So yes, this area may develop, but even if it does, it's going to take its time. And let's start with that, and then I'll widen out, and then we'll get into Kirk and what could become Leslie. So watching unsettled weather here today. Spotty shower storm, Barbados, Trinidad and Tobago, Haiti, we may get 1 or 2. But by tomorrow, see some rain building up toward the Cayman Islands. So Cayman Islands tomorrow, the rain chance will be higher. Still a chance of scattered showers and storms in Jamaica, and still parts of Mexico, Guatemala, El Salvador, seeing some heavier areas of rain. Now this is the American model. By Thursday, you can see no signs of development. There's Kirk, which we'll get to on the right-hand side of your screen. So this is on Thursday. By Thursday, you see still some extra rain near the Cayman Islands and as we work our way into Cuba. So let me widen it out here. This is Thursday, 4 o'clock. You see right here, Cayman Islands, some extra rain on Thursday, but no development. That's why we have some time to monitor this area. Then as we work our way into Friday, the American model saying, yeah, a lot of rain is going to build in the Gulf. Now, where something develops, if it does, it's still a wait and see. Does something spin up in the central Gulf? Is it more the eastern Gulf? We'll see. Let's get you out in time here. This is by the time we get into the weekend. There's Kirk, and we'll widen out in just a second. But here's a lot of rain building in the Gulf of Mexico. So it makes sense. Anytime you have a lot of rain in the Atlantic, Caribbean, or the Gulf, this time of year in the peak of hurricane season, which we still are, we watch to see if anything will develop. On Sunday, tons of rain in the Gulf. Now, it may try to spin up something as we work our way into next week. Still wait and see. There's also going to be a front in here, but either way, a lot of rain. Simply the American model saying, hey, this is an area to watch. We're going to see that rain building, and that's what we'll do. And each day I'll be able to give you some of those updates on that. Now, the European model, which again, days ago I mentioned I was actually leaning to, it hasn't done a good job this season, but I was leaning to because based on the environmental conditions, this seemed the most correct. And so far that has panned out. The European model has done a good job not quickly developing any area. You see here going out in time, here's Jamaica, here's Cuba, Cayman Islands, here's Belize, here's Honduras, get over toward Haiti, DR, over toward Puerto Rico. This here is by Thursday. So once again, some extra rain, western Cuba and the Cayman Islands midweek, but nothing developing. Keeping an eye on this little spin too by Bermuda. Now, not seeing that necessarily becoming tropical, but there's a batch of rain here that may try to spin up at least briefly. So just heads up in Bermuda later this week, our rain chance will bump up. Then we go out in time here. This is by Friday, working our way into the upcoming weekend. This is Saturday. Some sort of broad area of low pressure. This L means kind of a storm system, not necessarily a tropical storm or tropical depression, but just a broad area of low pressure. So a lot of rain in the Gulf of Mexico. This here is by the time we get into Saturday night and Sunday morning, and then just a ton of rain, like the American model is showing. But even if this does eventually spin up, it's not going to do so over the next day or two. That's why I mentioned we're just kind of babysitting this area. I'll be watching to see if the environment becomes more conducive for development. But a lot of rain here by Sunday. Then it's kind of a wait and see. Does it try to flare up, kind of just get caught up into the front? That out there is Kirk to the east of Bermuda on your screen. And then let's go out in time further on the European model. The European model is saying, hey, this area may just get tied into the front. And yeah, it could kind of work its way back toward Florida or the Bahamas with extra rain. But you can see it's not showing anything that is like a big tropical storm or a hurricane. This is a week and a day from now. This is next Wednesday. So European model right as of now is saying, hey, yeah, a lot of rain in the Gulf building, need to watch it, but not necessarily a named storm. So just watching this area for any signs of development. Now, as we get into the big picture, here's Bermuda, here's Dominica. This here is Kirk. Kirk is good news in the sense it's over water where we like it, and it is going to make that curve. That's some great news there, and it should make the curve early enough where it stays to the east of Bermuda. Now, back behind it, Leslie may try to form if that's the next one that gets named. You see it right there. Now, I'm hoping that does what Joyce did and what Kirk will do and eventually take the turn. This is on Saturday, but there is a chance that whatever this area is could drift a little bit more to the west. So while I see Kirk making a curve, let's just wait and see on this one, because if this stays weak a little bit longer, a weaker area would drift more to the west. So it's not a guarantee that the area behind Kirk does make a turn. The American model does have this strengthen quicker, which would allow it to make more of a turn. Things that strengthen quicker, spin more on a globe, want to go northward. They want to go poleward. So the American model does have this making a turn, and I hope this happens and this is right. But if it were to stay weaker, it could drift a little bit more to the west. So no for us in the Eastern Caribbean. I'm watching that second area, that area behind Kirk, and we'll wait and see on what happens with that. Now, Kirk itself should become a hurricane in about a day, and then potentially a major hurricane, but then eventually making that curve, and we'll see if it has any impacts over toward the Azores down the road. And a lot of these systems wind up and become big wind makers for parts of even Europe, and of course increase the seas in the North Atlantic. But all of the models showing that curve with Kirk, and this would be well to the east of Bermuda, generating those swells and higher seas, but safely off to the east. But we'll watch out for that area back behind it. Now, it is October, and we're still in the heart of hurricane season. August, September, and October, 84% of all named systems happen in these 3 months. So we're still in it. And usually the first 2 to 3 weeks of October is very active, or at least can be active. And then usually it starts to quiet down late October and of course through November. The hurricane season officially ends at the end of November, but we are definitely in a very active period now. So Isaac was out there in the North Atlantic. Joyce, that fell apart in the Central Atlantic now. Kirk is the one out there. The next name on the list is Leslie, then Milton, then Nadine, Oscar, and then Patty after that, and we'll see how far we get down this list. So a lot of activity out toward Africa and in the Central Atlantic, and monitoring this spot here. Now, as far as the wave heights go, this is meters, that's feet on your screen. It is going to be choppier in Bermuda with that spin. That's kind of that little spin I'll watch to see if it does try to develop into anything tropical the next few days. Shouldn't be long-lived. But by the time we get into Friday, the seas build in the Western Caribbean and then in the Eastern Gulf of Mexico. This here is by Saturday, so a hint of that moisture building. Could be some development, yes, but it's really a wait and see at this point. And the Atlantic waters are going to be a mess with the higher seas, those swells working in from Kirk that is out there. Now here's Bermuda, and we've been watching all of this action in through here, kind of streaming up toward the Azores. Some rain just off the coast or close to the coast in Newfoundland. Here's a front working its way through Quebec. Here's that little spin I'm watching, just this blob of rain near Bermuda. This here is tomorrow and taking it out in time on Thursday. We'll see if this does bring us some extra rain on Thursday. And there's Kirk on your screen that will make that curve, but watching what could become Leslie back behind it, and we'll monitor to see how far west that one gets. That one may not necessarily escape out to sea. Now, as far as the rain goes, the next 3 days starting to build across the Cayman Islands. So let me zoom down here. Cayman Islands and Jamaica. Now, most of the rain that's building in the Western Caribbean will be just to the west of Jamaica, but still we could get some spots the next few days of an inch or two of rain, maybe a little bit more. If we get some repeat showers and storms, we could have some spots that total out at 75 millimeters of rain or 3 inches of rain. But back through the Cayman Islands, that's where we're going to see the higher chance of rain, where we could get several spots over 3 inches or 75 millimeters of rain, especially in a day or two, once that moisture starts to build for us tomorrow and again on Thursday. Not as much Haiti, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico. It's going to be a passing shower or storm, isolated back through the U.S., British Virgin Islands, Anguilla, Antigua, and Barbuda, all the way from Dominica south through St. Vincent the Grenadines, St. Lucia, little passing shower. Same thing, Trinidad and Tobago, northeastern Venezuela, Guyana, slightly better chance. Suriname, we could get a couple showers, some spots 25 millimeters of rain or an inch of rain. This is where it's higher. There's the rain that's going to be building through the Cayman Islands, but parts of Mexico, Guatemala, El Salvador, Nicaragua, that chance of some flooding, where 3-day totals could exceed 150 millimeters of rain or 6 inches of rain, leading to some mudslides and dangerous rivers. And watching out for some areas of rain, of course, Costa Rica and Panama, north of Mexico City. Once again, it's been a whole lot drier all the way throughout Mexico proper, up toward Texas. So scattered areas of rain for us in Jamaica. Let me know in the comments what you get or don't get, but there's that rain chance bumping up tomorrow and Wednesday in the Cayman Islands. 30 to 40% chance in Trinidad and Tobago. See how the rain chance has gone down. Could get a few passing showers the next couple days in Barbados and St. Lucia, but the rain chance not very high. Just watching all that action off to the east. Grenada, 40 to 50% chance. St. Vincent the Grenadines, the next 3 days, a 40 to 50% chance of some scattered showers and storms. Martinique, passing shower possible. A 30% chance in Dominica, not a high chance of rain. Rain chance stays low in Guadeloupe, and still this time of year, if we are dry, we are on the hot side. Passing shower, maybe a 30% chance the next couple days. Antigua, Barbuda, St. Kitts, Nevis, and Montserrat, a 30 to 40% chance. See that rain chance staying on the low side, Anguilla and St. Bart's, and only a 20% chance St. Martin, Saba, and Statia. Rain chance about 30% the next couple days in Puerto Rico, a 30% chance in the next couple days U.S. and British Virgin Islands. Yeah, a couple passing showers possible. St. Croix, Bahamas, rain chance 30%, and looking at a 20 to 30% chance in the Turks and Caicos. Rain chance stays low. Dominican Republic, pop-up shower or storm, staying on the low side, 20% tomorrow and Thursday across Haiti. Rain chance 40 to 50% in Belize. No washout, but we'll see a chance of some scattered showers and storms. Rain chance low again, but still present, still a chance. Aruba, Curacao, and Bonaire that we could see a passing shower. Guyana, the rain chance stays at 30%, and a 20 to 30% chance in Suriname, which is low, but it is slightly higher than the last few days. Rain chance 40% the next couple days in Cuba, but then we'll see Western Cuba by mid and late week, that rain chance increasing with that rain near the Cayman Islands, lifting to the north. Costa Rica and Panama, the rain chance stays high, especially inland. Nicaragua, 40 to 50% chance the next 2 days in Honduras. Rain chance a healthy 60% Guatemala and El Salvador, an 80% chance on Thursday. Rain chance 30 to 40% in Mexico City, and running at about a 50% chance across the Yucatan Peninsula as a whole. Could get some scattered showers. Northern Colombia, still some action, 40 to 50% chance, and in northern Venezuela, rain chance down a little bit more, about a 30% chance. But I'm going to monitor Bermuda. Remember that spin nearby. We'll just see how close it gets, see if that rain chance may bump up a little bit further by the time we get into Thursday and Friday. So Western Caribbean, the rain is going to build, and then that area will move into the Gulf of Mexico. We're watching for development. I'll just monitor to see if anything does eventually try to spin up. And then we have those name systems in the Atlantic. Well, Joyce fell apart, but Kirk is out there, and Leslie may develop behind Kirk. And then that one, I want to see how far to the west that may go. I'm also watching that very carefully. So thank you for being part of this weather community. I hope you're doing well, and have a good rest of your day.